Good night, everybody. Today we're here all together to make a panel discussion as our final project for English class. Well, as the topic of our interest, we choose animal welfare, and I have here three experts that will give their different point of view and who will analyze animal welfare in modern society. Well, to start, throughout the years, animals have been used with different purposes, with no regards of their welfare whatsoever, ranging from the being used just for the sole purpose of human entertainment to the science of agricultural production. Animals' rights have been emerged as something that we can take for guaranteed, and the angle stone of our society future regarding the conservation of biodiversity and the moral of humankind. In the last few years, animal mistreat has increased alarmingly, given to we prioritize the economical gains. Little do we know that we fumble in the ignorance of the possibility of altering the cycles of nature that nature itself has designed. Well, to start, we'll introduce the expert, which is Fabricio Arriaza, the expert in animal production welfare, Daniela Martínez, the domestic animal welfare, and Alejandra Martínez, the wild animal welfare. To start, we'll give the opportunity to Alejandra Martínez.
So, good night, experts and audience. My name is Alejandra Martínez. So, I'm the specialist in zoologist. So, first of all, to begin this, I want to tell that this topic about the welfare and animal abuse or animal treat is very important. And also, first of all, I want to say that we as humans, naturally, we like new things. We like to experiment and we like to go on trip. So first of all, I will talk you about 4 places that usually people really like to visit, from the youngest to the oldest. So that are the zoos, the circuses, sanctuaries, and safaris. So when we are in these places, we actually do not notice that we are using the animal for entertainment. So when we are in here, we just see like the good things, not the real thing that these animals happen and really actually happen. For example, in zoos, owners should bring these animals from their natural habits. And this process of their natural habits, for example, jungles or savanna, to this new place that is the zoo, makes so cons about the animal, making more sad and ill. And also, we need to remember that we are remove this animal that is adding to a change in this natural environment. So the importance of these animals in the environment is taken away when we, as humans, bring in of their natural habits to the zoo. The next ones are the circuses. And here is a little more complicated because, as we know, here the animals do what humans want to do. They train it to make new things. For example, the natural act of a lion, for example, is to stay in the jungle or in the savanna and look or search for their prey. But here in the circuses, they, for example, jump into fire. So there are activities that actually or normally these animals don't do. So also causing stress to them and makes sad. There are these other places that are the sanctuaries and the safaris that these are more likely animal talking with animals because and here are more similar to their natural environment. But also we are taking away first from the natural environment. So we need to remember that it's not just to remove. We need also to give, like for example, to reply this remove we make, because when we're removing, we are taking away a change that have a pattern. So that's why we should really take about this. And also, I want to tell you an important fact that are like the most use of animals to entertainment. There are five principles that are the lion, the tiger, the monkey, the elephant, and the dolphins. These are like the most uses because are like the most easy to attract and are very attractive to the human. So we should notice about this, and every time we go to a zoo or we go to the circuses, we should notice the importance about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll give the opportunity to Daniela Martínez to give her point of view.
Okay, I'm Daniela Martínez and I'm a specialist in vet in domestic animals. In my point of view, an important area that I'm going to focus are the domestic animals, for example, the dogs. We usually is considered one of our best friends and is one of the domestic animals that today are extremely have many problems. This because the traits that they have are not the better, because more in rural areas and the dogs are not taken care as well. And this is because the reproduction of them is incontrollable and is make to human many diseases. For example, the rabies represent 99% of rabies that affect humans. So that's why today there are 10 millions of dogs are killed because of the rabies. They want to kill them because to decrease this phenomenon. So that means that 18 dogs are killed inhumanly every minute. So this is considered as a very impact statistics. So that's why there exist many organizations that work a lot on the protection of dogs, and also to make many campaigns to make campaigns of vaccinating. So in this way we can reduce the rabies in dogs, and also the problem that represents to human disease, because transmit 99% of rabies. So this means that 59,000 of people are died because of this. So as a solution is that make conscious to people to take care of their dogs and make responsible, because one thing that usually happen that poor people doesn't have enough money to let them their necessities, like having vacuums, may let them a better nutrition. So these dogs are reproduce themselves very faster, and this is a shame. So the dogs are more propense to have bad traits. So we need to make many organizations. There are many organizations that work hard to this and make to reduce those statistics to have a better trait to domestic animals.
Well, thank you, Daniela. Now we'll give the opportunity to Fabricio.
Well, I'm a doctor specialist in animal welfare in farms. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization from the United States, around 56 billion of animals are slaughtered every year around the world for the egg industry, the meat industry, and the dairy industry. Around 98% of the animal raised in the world are for the food industry. Some of these industries or some of these farms have something called CAFOs, that is confined animal feeding operations. These increase the production, but without having the best treatments for the animals. So as we can see in the farms that the animals doesn't receive the treatment that they deserve. Maybe we think, or the most of the people think that we have to make business and we have to make money, but they don't care raise it. They just maybe people with this business just care about the money and doesn't think about the animal welfare. In the United Kingdom, was approved a law that was called the Five Freedoms. That is freedom from hunger. It has to be freedom from hunger and thirsty. It has to be enough food and enough water for the animals. Freedom from discomfort. The animal has to be free to. The animal has to have the space for and develop the best he can. And freedom from pain, injury, or disease. If an animal is sick or has a disease, we have to give him the best treatment to avoid the death of the animal in a cruel way. Freedom to express the normal behavior, as I said, it has to be enough space for the best development of the animal. The animal has to be with his same kind of animals, with the same kind of animal. And the other one is freedom from fear and disease and distress. The animal has to be safe. The animal doesn't have to be with any fear or something like that. We can see sometimes in the productive area that sometimes in the farms the animals are in a very small space, and we can see that they are not receiving the best treatment. Sometimes they are in small space. They don't have enough space to develop the best it can. We can see that animals sometimes are killed just because they don't raise or they don't achieve the goal that
The productive
the
goal.
productive goal that the business will have. So we have to, but nowadays people is taking care about this. People is thinking about this, and a very small percentage, but increasing percentage of farms are taking this in count, and it is nowadays people are thinking about this and the animals raised in the better way, given the best treatment that they deserve.
Well, thank you, Fabricio. Something that we have to take in consideration is that we have a common thing in between the three areas, and it is that from these three areas we have a human do it with the purpose of receiving money, and having gaining money. Well, so what is a solution or a way out that we can that you can give to a person? For example, in your case, that have a farm and have to receive money from the animals that he's feeding. So what is a solution that you can give? The same in the case of the domestic animal. What is an opportunity that you can give an idea to that person that dedicates their time to domestic animals and to the same way to the wild animals? Fabricio, we'll start with you.
Well, I don't think there is a solution because, as we know, people day by day is increasing, and we have to feed every people in the world. So we have to increase our production. But the only way that we can increase our production is to increase not to give the best treatment to the animals. Because if we just give the best treatment to the animals, so we don't produce in the same way. So I think that if we just take care about the animals, so we are not gonna feed every people in the world.
Okay. Daniela?
Okay, in my area will be the creation of more organizations that care of the dogs in this case, to give to all dogs all their necessities, the food, the medicines, and in the same way prevent to humans many diseases. It's a big job, but it's something that is necessary, and we need to focus on it and see the benefit that we can receive as humans.
Okay, thank you, Daniela. Now, Alejandra?
And talking about the 4 places I mentioned before, first of all, in circuses, we know that, as I tell you, they use the animals to make different things that in the nature they do not do. I think it's unnecessary to use animals to impress the people when the human being has the capability to make a lot of things that can really impress the people. So it's unnecessary to use humans. On the other hand, in zoos, we know that in here we give a small place to animals to live. So it should be more investigations about the space necessary for the animal to live without stresses and happy, and with a certification in hand. It should be more investigated and more supervised, and it should be more integrated and be joined to the sanctuary safari, because as I tell you before, these 2 organizations are more likely compared to the natural habitat of the animals. So, and without remembering, it's really need to recall is every time you take an animal from the natural place, you need to decrease their pain and also to replace their position in the natural habitat to have a good change in the nature.
Thank you, Alejandra. Well, until this time, we have the ideas and the possible solutions to the increasing level of animal mistreatment in the case of the animal welfare, which is that for example, adding, increasing the amount of sanctuaries and safaris instead of having zoos or circuses, and making more domestic animal protection organizations, and the other in the productive area, it's to have more conscious, be more conscious in respecting the animals' normal behaviors, and always getting the goal of which is the interest of the person who dedicates to these areas. Well, now we'll give time to the audience to give their point of view, and or you can also ask questions if you want to have a more clear idea of the topic.
Well, I have a question.
Well, start.
What do you think about chickens, for example? Industry kills the male chickens when they are young.
Well, I think that it has to be like that because our goal is, as engineers, our agronomic engineer, we have to feed all the people around the world. So if we just take care about the animal welfare, we are not gonna produce the enough food for all the people around the world. So we have to think about how to produce the same, but without giving bad treatments to the animals.
Okay. In that case, you have to give feed the animal with the requirements that he needs, the animal needs, and give the spaces, respect the rights that an animal has. Well, someone else wants to participate? Yes.
Okay, I preach Alejandra's opinion with respect to the animals in the zoo. We know that all these animals are kept in an enclosed environment, some of them in cages, and they enter into a depressive stage. Some of them are like entering in a psychosis, that is, as I mentioned before, a depression state, and they have to be treated. Some of them, they can't even mate. There is like an artificial insemination, and their offsprings could be like trade, and they can't, that the animal can't select their own mate. And with respect with the circus, I think that this is wrong, because as we know, if the animal don't do what the trainer wants, the trainer punish the animals. So I'm
Good idea added to the discussion. Someone else?
I have a question to any of the three experts. It's just a simple question. Why should we care? Like, let's say I'm an important businessman. Let's say I sell coats. And the coats I use like tiger skin. I know you said like the circuses, people can do the same things and we can impress the same people, but I can't make a coat out of actual skin, like out of people's skin. So I really need animals. Like, why should I care if my coats are like, my business is booming? I've never been better. I'm getting a lot of money. Why should we care? Why should I care about like killing a tiger or something if I'm getting a lot of money?
Okay, someone wants to answer? Alejandra?
I think like if you are a businessman, you can ingenious to be more efficient. We know that if you want to sell something to a person, you by touching his heart, is like comprobated that you can have sales. For example, if you are a businessman and you say we are not using animal skins, and we, instead of this, because we want to take care of these animals, we're gonna use some other other type of tool or another material. So making more ingenious opinion, you can also have sales and make money without hurting the animals.
Okay. Someone else want to add an answer to Daniel's question? Well, Daniela, I also want to add something that you said that consists in if you really are getting an income with your business, you should care not only for yourself, but for your future generations. What about if you are you abuse of that collection or extracting that animals for only your interest? And what about the future generations? They won't have the possibility to appreciate what nature give us. And not only that, you are not only affecting that species, you are affecting you are altering the natural cycle of the ecosystem. So at the end, you don't only affect yourself, but you affect us all of us. So,
Talking about the food chain, I don't know if you know, but animals like can adapt. So if I, let's say, I make the tiger species extinct, maybe the animals that eat tigers like can adapt to eat another type of animals. But why should I care about like future generations not seeing tigers when I can like have a good legacy for my future generations to come, so they can't worry about stuff like money.
okay, in your case, you are in favor of this abuse because you are getting an income from that. But in case of us, in our case, we're not receiving nothing from you. Only the coats, for example, we're talking about coats. But what we can get in rebellion with your business only because you are selling abusing from animals with buying another type of coats from different materials. So at the end, yes, you will have customers, but if you start abusing and you mistreat the animal, in this case you are killing, you are abusing about the animal. We have an answer to your abuse. So right now, since a small amount of people, percentage of people know about your business, you are getting a lot of incomes. But for next years, I can be sure that you will decrease. Also, you can receive a penalty from government by abusing animals.
But let's say I'm like an entrepreneur here in Honduras. Like Honduras doesn't have laws to protect animals or anything like that. So it's okay. It's okay that you're against it, but you're not like the. Let's say I have like 90% of the world buying my coats, and you're that 10% that doesn't buy them.
But you can also increase yourself by making a more healthy things. So you can apply this ingenious mind and to apply new things and do more sales, just like making or protecting the animals.
Okay. At the end, there is another type of business that you can get in and receive a better income of. So, some more questions?
I have an opinion. As you ask for solutions, I think that in the productive area you can think about making a new diet and showing this diet to everyone in the world. Because I think it's very important that everyone makes conscious of the damage that we're making to the animals. But it's not easy if people need to eat animals, because it's very important for proteins and many other things. So I think it's very important that we establish like a new diet, and that this diet we can include it in everyone's way of eating. Because, for example, as our diet, we eat eggs almost every day, and we don't need eggs every day. You need it, the amount that you need from the from proteins, or I don't know what, from the eggs. It's really small for the quantity that we're eating during the week. So I think that we should make conscious of the things that we are eating, and that we can make it better, or maybe changing it for fruits or vegetables or other things. And I also think that in the area of domestic animals, I think that it's very important that when a person buys an animal, he or she signs a paper in which it says that if he can continue taking care of the animal, that he's gonna donate it to someone that actually has the time to take care of it. Because it's not only about having an animal, but it's having the time to take care of it. So I also think that it's very important to make conscious that if you can't handle with the animal, or you can take care of it, give the opportunity to someone that wants to take care of an animal.
Okay, thank you, Hilda. As a conclusion, we have to be more conscious in the animal welfare, giving the respecting the rights of the animal, and take care of them, since in the productive area we are the interest ones, because we receive an income, and we also feed the world. In the area, in the domestic area, we should also care of them, since they are a friend for us, because of their affective characteristics. And if we are not responsible for feeding them and taking care of them, give the opportunity to someone that wants to, and have the opportunity, have the income, have the capacity to adapt it. And in the case of the wild animal, to appreciate their nice, to appreciate the wild animals that we don't see normally in rural areas, and also urban areas. We should make more sanctuaries or safaris, because they require more area, and more. We should respect their offsprings, respect their natural way of life. So thank you. This is all for today, and see you next time.